Thanks very much, yes. I didn't know that Jenny wasn't going to be able to make it till about 10 to 7 when I turned up at her house this evening. So unfortunately everything I'm doing is old, but I'm doing something from each of my published books, because these were all that were lying around the house in at Jenny's. So, and I had to ask her which metro to get on to get here, which platform I had to go to, because I know I've got to come to Chillingham Road, but I usually get lost and end up going on the Circle line somewhere else. So leads me into this poem. It's called Departure. You don't know where you are. The train left the station without you. Bags on board and passport in your coat pocket. Standing in short sleeves on the platform, shivering as the station master shouts, "Come away from the edge! Don't you know it's dangerous?" Strange name for a city, dangerous. And there are no other people on the platform, no timetables, no arrows pointing the way. You don't know where you are? This is the last stop your brain makes before the light goes out at the end of the tunnel.
Whoa.
This is a little pamphlet that I published about 18 years ago, and it's actually Jenny's copy. It says, "Reflecting hurt for little Jen, you can do infinitely better than this." It's called On Solitude Hill. On Solitude Hill you come and go as you please, slipping in and out of the night, watching fog crawl like some ghostly snake along the valley, over the river, through the trees and skyward. The air is so much fresher up here, and the silence makes you glad you've ears to hear it. Thanks very much. Some of you may know this piece by default. It's a little magazine called Terps, which you may see around some of the pubs and arts venues around Newcastle. It's a free magazine, and I thought I'd try a piece that I sent to them. It's a very old piece, but it's published in a book that's coming out in a couple of years' time. So this is an extract from Confessions of an Isolationist. It's a book of prose. Dust and sweat, breathing it in, pouring it out. £7 an hour for this, and I'm choking on the dust and with laughter. £7 an hour, I'd lick shit off a slaughterman's shoes. I'm down in it, revelling in my own filth again. Making it hard for myself is easy. Face black with grime, lungs heavy with putrid air. My eyes, ghoul's eyes, red and black, almost dead, almost blind through the haze. Must be blind to let myself get away with this. Saturday, cleaning out grey steel shelves. 8 years the same shelves. Dust and sweat, dust and sweat. This is the worst job I've had yet. The others move pallets and make space. Me, I cover myself in dirt, dust and sweat, breathing it in, pouring it out. Home, hot water and shampoo. The filth drains into the enamel bath. Grey sludge. I've crawled around town like a coal man or a Dickensian orphan. Now I'm draining dust from my skull like silt. When I blow my nose, the mucus is black. When I cough, I feel bricks on my chest. Later, I soak skin, an hour in water. When I rise, the face is clean, hands deathly white. I am chalk man with a sickly stare. The mirror shows me tin ribs, chalk man, grey flecks in hair, white fractures on both hands. Chalk man, wipe me away, a clean slate, tabula rasa, feel good now. Thanks very much. This piece is from a book which I don't actually have with me, but I had to write it down because last time I did this I made myself. I come from concert. There's not much call for poetry up there.
Whoa.
And when I wrote this, I was a young man, about 20 looking for other people into poetry and romance. Couldn't find much romance in concert. This is called A Novel Affair. The women who lay themselves open, hearts stripped bare, do so far away from here. In silence they talk with a pen or punch keys, locked up, nailed down in their rooms. Never in the flesh will I see them, which makes goodbye easy. I've got a long-winded intro for this. I think I'll do it. When I was about 7 or 8, it was the summer holidays, and I was sitting with my sister, who was about 6 years older than me, and I'd been reading an Enid Blyton book, and I said, wouldn't it be great to have adventures like the famous 5 or the secret 7, you know, not sort of make them up, but actually live that sort of life, you know. And my sister said, oh, well, that would never happen. And I thought, well, it might if we sort of stage managed it a little bit. So it was a group of about 6 of her friends used to hang out, and they always used to let me tag along, begrudgingly, but they'd let me tag along with them. And we had, where I lived, there was some farm buildings near the field at the top of the street where I lived, a dairy farm. And I thought it would be a good idea if we sort of wrote some notes that had apparently come from a serial killer, you know, and hide them around the farm ground, and then miraculously discover these notes and say, look, some weirdos on the loose, you know, he's leaving these notes. And we did this for about a week, and her friends were kind of like, oh, is this a wind-up or not, you know? And then on this Friday night, I pulled a note out of a crack in the wall and said, look at this, it says the oldest girl's going to get offed tonight. And just as I read it, we looked out this windowless barn, and there was a guy coming over the hill, over a field, with a shotgun over his shoulder. And the look on Sharon Murray's face as she just turned 16, and she sort of legged it out of the barn and down and back down the road. So it's a kind of long-winded story, just for a couple of lines. It's called Moth Inside My Shade. Moth inside my shade, why do you sound like the spit and cackle from the dying embers of fires we sat around when we were young? I took a slow walk out earlier around the streets where I now live, and the sky was scraping my skull, reminding me of those summers spent in barns, playing famous 5s or secret 7s, waiting for that big man with the shotgun, finding another spider scrawl note in an ancient wall, or tucked away in some crack of rotten wood that joist sacks of grain once hung from. I remember sirens of the steelworks, even younger, running home under threat from Nazi invasion. It was 1974 or 5, but what a thing, the mind of a child, how we terrify with imagination. Moth inside my shade, I almost forgot you were there, drowned out by the sound of my own brain, kicking back scenes rarely called upon. Only the fridge now, that drone, and thoughts of the dark roast filter coffee I shouldn't drink. Thanks very much. Thanks for listening to half prose, half poetry. This is from my latest book, which I don't like to publicise because of the title, because some twat went and released 3 books of smut with a similar title. My book's called Shades of Grey, which was released before the Shades of Grey, the 50 Shades of Shit trilogy. So I don't promote it very much, but I thought I'd finish on this, since the weather's changing as well. Season of the gloved hand, the pungent aroma of something like sewerage drifts up to greet you this side of the water. The breeze blows blue and yellow balloons from a little girl's fingers, and the pages of a tattered notebook nearly fly over the handrail of the bridge. Sunday visitors doing the rounds whiz by in family cars, quickly fading into the distance. You were never meant to immerse yourself in all the clutter of adult life. All you need is what you are. All you need to learn is how to get inside yourself again, to pluck fragments of experience like cherries from your personal tree. All you need is what you are. All you need is reflected in the water. Thanks very much for listening.